A lot of businesses in UAE has been asking for one thing, that is clarity on e-invoicing. For months, everyone kept asking the same question. Who exactly needs to comply with e-invoicing and when does e-invoicing actually start? Now the Ministry of Finance has finally published a clear roadmap. And in this video, I'll do my best to simplify e-invoicing timeline as simple as possible. First, let's look at who's actually in scope and when does all of this e-invoicing actually start, meaning the rollout. It applies to mainly the VAT-registered businesses who issue tax invoices, although other businesses can choose to voluntarily join this e-invoicing rollout from 1st July 2026. And on the same day, the Ministry of Finance also will roll out a formal pilot phase where the selected businesses are directly notified and they are onboarded under the full technical and the compliance requirements. So in simple terms, if you are a VAT registered businesses that issue tax invoices, you're either already in scope or you will be as the rollout progresses. To manage this transition, everyone will be rolling out e-invoicing in phases rather than everyone switching at once. And I'll explain the entire timeline using a simple example, so follow along. Now, let's look at Company A. Company A is a large enterprise with an annual revenue above the 50 million AED. So naturally, it falls in the first phase of e-invoicing rollout. And for this Company A, the first real deadline isn't the go live date. It's actually the deadline to choose the ASP. So by 31st July 2026, this company needs to appoint an accredited service provider by then. That's when the preparation becomes unavoidable because the ERP mapping and testing should be in progress. Then January arrives. On 1st Jan 2027, e-invoicing becomes mandatory for Company A, and every in-scope invoice must flow through the system every day. Now, let's take Company B. Company B has a revenue below 50 million AED. It follows the same steps, just on a later timeline. Its ASP appointment deadline is on 31st March 2027 and with its mandatory go-live dates on 1st July 2027. Now, the government entities come last and they must appoint the ASP by 31st March 2027 and go live by 1st October 2027. The takeaway over here is very simple. The rollouts is phased, scope is broad, and the deadlines are fixed. Each entity has a fixed window to actually start preparing, and once that window gets done, enforcement begins. Oh, and one important clarification. B2C transactions are not included yet. So if your business only issues B2C invoices, you're not required to join the stage yet. You need to wait out until the Ministry of Finance gives any further information when B2C will be included in the rollout. However, if your business issues B2C as well as B2B invoices, you're still in scope for the B2B transaction. And that's the bigger picture you need to understand around this topic. The next step is to ensure that the data, workflows, and the systems are intact and everything is aligned early and not at the last minute. So if you're evaluating a platform to support that, Complyance is built to stay compliant from day one across all the complex ERP environments. So we'll take care of the e-invoicing so you can get back to your core business work. So if you find this useful, share it to someone that's having a hard time understanding how the UAE e-invoicing works and follow along for more structured content on UAE e-invoicing.